In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ad formats that you can utilize in your ad account today to help you effortlessly scale to spending more than 30K a day on Facebook. These are creative formats that we have tried and tested inside multiple accounts with a total ad spend of more than $10 million a month that our creatives are helping to support across a variety of verticals inside ecom. So if you want to learn about that, stick around. Like I said, if you want to learn about how I can help you and teach you to create better quality creative, systemize your creative testing, and actually increase your win rate of your creative tests, hit the first link in the description. You'll find the Ad Creative Masterclass there. Inside that program, you'll get access to me, all of my resources, templates, SOPs, everything like that. And you'll also get access to me on a weekly call every single Wednesday where we go live and I'll answer any questions that you have. And for the next 30 people who join, I'm also offering a one-to-one free consulting call where you can ask me any question you like, share your screen, go through your ads manager, Shopify, whatever, and I can help you come up with better ad ideas, increase your win rate, and ultimately make more money. Without further ado, let's get into the video. If you just ran these 3 types of creatives, you'd be able to spend 30K a day pretty consistently on Facebook. These are the top 3 performing creative formats that I have seen inside $10 million a month of ad spend that we have access to, that we support with our creatives. This is stuff that is working right now for clients inside of our agency and for stores that we run and operate of our own as well. None of this is fluff. This is going to be purely tactical. If you're wondering who I am, I run an agency called AdTalk. We work with 7 to 9 figure ecom brands, primarily helping them with creative. We're supporting over $10 million a month in ad spend at the moment, across the D2C brands that we work with, across across verticals like supplements, health, accessories, gadgets, etc. So we have a pretty good understanding of what converts and how to go about actually producing it. So 3 types of ad creatives you need to be running in 2025. Let's start with the first one, and one of my favorite ones, which is listicle ads. So listicle creatives are an excellent way to tap into customers' psychological bias to incentivize higher watch time, increase video length, and drive conversion through mass education and rewiring people's belief systems around certain things. And the reason why I say it taps into customers' psychological biases is because when you have 5 reasons, 3 reasons, 7 reasons, however many reasons in your creative, customers are incentivized to get to the end of it to figure out if the product, the problem, whatever else you're talking about in that ad applies to them or will appeal to them. So the use cases of these types of creatives are very simple. You have product focused, problem unaware, and problem aware. So product focused is primarily just going to be utilizing hooks like 3 reasons why chiropractors everywhere are recommending this strangely shaped pillow to their patients, for example, or 3 reasons why this is the perfect holiday season gift for your husband, or 3 reasons why 12,000 moms are switching to this baby soother. So straight away calling out the product in the hook, making it very, very evident that this is a product focused ad and we're going to be talking about a product and selling you a product throughout the duration of this creative. Then you have problem unaware ads, and these ones you'll be using hooks that primarily appeal to the overarching problem that the person is trying to solve. So 3 red flags of kidney inflammation, for example, or like you see up here with rice superfoods, 3 signs you have stuck poop in your colon. So again, this is not talking about a product in particular, but what it does do is it taps into an overarching problem and then resonates with people who identify with having that problem or have had symptoms of that problem. Same with the next one, which is red flags of accelerated aging. So if you're a woman that's getting older or a man that's getting older and you can feel it and you know it and it appeals to you, that obviously that hook is going to identify with you, capture your attention, and get you to continue to watch. Now, the trick with these ads is you want to take the top 3 to 5 most common symptoms of these particular problems and list them out. So you want to make essentially your target customer subconsciously say yes to at least 1 of 3 or 5 potential symptoms of the actual problem itself. So kidney inflammation, it might be, you're waking up in the night to pee so much, you have pain in your bladder, the color of your urine is this. These kind of things then basically help the customer to self-diagnose themselves essentially with the problem that you're speaking about. And then what that does in the mind of the customer is, okay, they know this about X problem. Based on what they've just listed to me, This is all subconscious dialogue that they're having, by the way, which is why these ads are so powerful. Based on what they've just said to me, it's clear that they understand the problem, it's clear that they understand the cause of the problem, and it's clear that they understand what I'm going through, which automatically then positions you, your brand, and your product, whatever that product could be, as a viable solution, so long as you're then able to qualify your claims, apply social proof, create urgency and scarcity, and dismiss potential alternatives to solving that same problem. These types of ads are really powerful when you have a large TAM of a problem to tap into. You don't want to be doing this in small TAMs because you're going to exhaust the TAM pretty quickly. And when you have broad targeting, I don't mean that like in your Facebook settings. I mean broad targeting in the sense that you're targeting a broad pain point, you're solving a big problem for a lot of people. These types of ads will allow you to tap into more of that audience for a longer period of time, which ultimately is what allows ads to actually scale. If you notice, the ads that scale the most in your ad accounts will be the ones that speak to the broadest hooks, the broadest pain points, and the broadest audience, because Facebook can continuously keep recycling that ad through new impressions every single day, every single minute, however it chooses to serve your ads. This is why the problem aware ads are super powerful. Then you have problem aware. So these are where you're talking into specific problems. So 3 signs your gut is crying out for help, 5 signs of elevated cortisol levels, 3 ways this sneaky gut bacteria could be causing your hair loss. So again, we call out the problem immediately, and therefore we basically get the audience to self-qualify themselves to be part of our potential customer base, resonate with them, list out the symptoms that are most common, that are going to qualify for 99% of people who have that problem, and then position our product as the most logical solution. So how do you actually execute these ads? Very, very simple. There's 2 ways you can do this really. You can do it using single creator, and you have basically the creator doing the voiceover, the creator doing the talking head scenes, whatever it might be, plus all of the lifestyle B-roll. So, for example, if you go back to 3 red flags of kidney inflammation, you want B-roll for every single listicle point. So you might have a B-roll scene of like a creator rushing to the bathroom several times, or you might have somebody sitting on the couch when I was talking about, bladder pain, for example, somebody clutching at like their stomach, or you might have a B-roll scene of something that looks like urine that is discolored in a certain way, which would appeal to the user, and you would have that scene in there as well for each listicle point. And then you'd have the creator narrating the voiceover across all of this B-roll. This is the most common format of this creative, but there's a new format of this creative that has recently started to take off, particularly on TikTok Shop and with supplement brands on TikTok Shop, which is essentially you do the same exact thing except there's no voiceover. So the ads typically can be a lot shorter than usual, and you'll just use a trending sound or a trending soundtrack, which is going to be used as much of a scroll stopper and an engagement tool as well. But also then you leverage the captions on the screen more so, because then you don't have a voiceover to actually convince them. So you might have to make a B-roll clip for each different symptom, and then make B-roll for the product, put it all together, apply a trending soundtrack or a soundtrack that is converting on top performing TikTok Shop videos, for example, and create your ad that way. And then the third way is to use AI voiceovers, and this way you can combine B-roll from multiple creators or multiple sources. This is typically a lower cost option if you don't want to pay creators to make specific scenes for specific briefs. If you want to put like all the content that you have together and leverage that, you can also do it that way, combining that with AI voiceovers. This allows you a little bit more room for variation and a little bit more room for actually producing more assets than normal. So this is the first ad format that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Listicle ads. If you're not using them, you have to be using them. Like honestly, every single account we try them in, they convert. Whether it's health, whether it's supplements, gadgets, whatever it might be, gifts, like it just works because you incentivize that innate bias, psychological bias in the customer to want to complete the video, which ultimately allows them to be persuaded by the time they get to the end and take action. And also they are very, very good for top of funnel cold traffic to educate and build trust with users before you actually pitch them your product. If you analyze these ads and you look at brands that are doing these successfully, one thing you will notice is that product introductions come very, very late in these videos, and that's not uncommon in high converting ads that appeal to cold traffic. There's a specific reason why that is because you want to get people's buy-in and education and trust first before you go ahead and pitch them your solution, whatever it might be. So that's the first format. Second format is TikTok shop style ads. These have been crushing it in every single account we've put it in. Multiple accounts we have spending at least 30k a day, where this format is the top performing ad. It continuously produces sales, continuously scales spend, and is taking more and more of the budget daily. And I think a lot of this is just due to the fact that TikTok Shop has become a lot more popular. A lot more people are used to buying from there, even though the GMV doesn't compare anywhere near to Shopify or an Amazon, for example. But what you're seeing is a TikTokification of essentially e-com, basically. And so these more raw, authentic, narrative, storyline driven videos are converting a lot better because they don't come across as ads. They essentially Trojan horse themselves into the psyche of your customer, and before you know it, they're hooked. They believe whoever is in the video and they want to buy the product. So TikTok shop creators are the future of UGC, and if you can execute these well at scale, you'll be playing e-com on easy mode all year. And I really do mean that. Again, these are for problem focused, product focused, problem unaware ads, just the same as what we talked about with the listicles. Now, how do you actually execute these? There's 3 different variables that matter the most. Now, storylines are key here. So if you notice, if you go onto Kalo data and you filter by, a lot of people use Kalo data to find products. We use Kalo data to find content formats, and then we take those content formats, we give them to our creators with a brief and a script, and we get them to recreate that same style of video depending on the niche, vertical, etc. that we're working in. But storylines are key here. They have to be either from the first person or third person, talking about themselves, talking about their aunt, talking about their mother, whoever it might be. But storylines are key here to actually taking people on the journey from pre-transformation to after transformation. The second thing is creator quality is the most important variable in these ads actually performing well. And the reason for that is you don't have the luxury with these ads that you have with very B-roll heavy direct response UGC of utilizing retention editing tactics. You can't chop and change the scene every 2 seconds. You can't use really engaging scraped B-roll clips or sciencey animations or anything like that. It's just the creator. And so creators who have charisma on camera, have high energy, and can make the script their own as opposed to just reading off a teleprompter are going to be the most important variable to cracking this format for you. So creator quality is highly, highly important. And this is where you get into things like, paying creators on retainer to produce content for you once you find good ones, or paying creators affiliate percentages of ad spend or revenue depending on what they produce for you and at what scale they're able to achieve. Because you incentivize them to produce better quality, you incentivize them to be more consistent, to produce more volume, and be kind of in the trenches with you scaling, as opposed to, being that kind of transactional, deliverable related relationship. The third thing is the more outlandish the claims are and the storylines, the better. If you notice the most, top performing TikTok videos, they're usually like way outlandish claims, not necessarily about the product, but just like about the problem. If you look at, for example, conspiracy style videos, those are like super outlandish. Like, for example, Zendaya exposes the $978 billion celebrity skincare scam. That's controversial, that's outlandish, and is storyline driven. That's why this creative worked so well on TikTok Shop. If you go through, just filter by video on a tool like Kalo Data or anything else, look at the top performing formats of videos. Download 5 to 10 of those different formats, 5 to 10 videos in each of those formats, and then recreate those, analyze those scripts, analyze the creator, recreate that style of ad while providing it in the brief to your own creators to then recreate those ads for your brand. Now, the only downside of these I've seen is that they're really hard to iterate on because, for example, with a listicle ad, we can test 3 or 4 different scroll stoppers or 3 or 4 different hooks very, very easily. With these, since it's basically all filmed in one take, it's all up front, it can be harder to iterate on when it comes to scroll stoppers or hook variations. And so this is a little bit of a nugget I'm going to give you, which I shouldn't, but the best performing style of iteration on these TikTok shop style UGC videos has been for us just swapping out the creator. just taking that same exact ad, giving it to another creator, getting them to recreate it. And if you look on Kalo data, in fact, you know what, I'll show you an example from a brand that I found the other day. All right, so if you look here, this brand Physician's Choice, they sell like gut supplements, etc. If you look at their top performing TikTok shop video, I'll just quickly play, obviously you won't be able to hear it. But essentially, his hook is basically, if your pooch looks like this or this, and then he goes into it. And then that's the top video. That's done 383K in revenue for this brand. If you look at the 5th top video, exact same thing, just different creator. And I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find more of these examples if we look through. I'm pretty sure there was a 3rd one in here I saw the other day. Maybe it's gone. But essentially, iterating on creatives using different creators for these TikTok shop style videos is key to actually expanding the life cycle of your creatives and scaling into that angle or that messaging whilst diversifying your creatives essentially. Now, the 3rd style of ads is negative marketing ads. If you're not utilizing negative marketing, you're leaving so much money on the table. This is again one of those formats that has allowed us to scale accounts ridiculously high, while also continuously tapping into cold traffic. And I'm going to tell you one big mistake that a lot of people make when they're utilizing negative marketing ads is they go with their hooks straight into the product. Now, typically those ads, for example, this one you can see here are 5 reasons not to get the Aliva red light belt. If you see that as a cold traffic customer, it means nothing to you. So most of the time, these types of ads that are positioned with these kind of hooks are going to be delivered to users lower down the funnel. But if you want to tap into cold traffic using negative marketing ads, all you need to do is put another hook on the front of this ad, on the front of this hook, that is problem focused. So, for example, we would just attach another frame to the beginning of this video, and we would use a hook like, for example, struggling with lower back pain, and use a different scroll stopper, and then the next scene would be, here are 5 reasons not to get the Aliva red light belt. So now what you have is the first hook is capturing people who are problem aware, but the second hook is then going straight into the pitch and product introduction. And then you're able to actually scale into colder traffic. And we've seen this working time and time again. And again, it utilizes people's inherent bias towards negativity to essentially Trojan horse the ad in front of their face. They're expecting a hit piece, they're expecting a customer nightmare or something like that. And it also piques their interest to get them riled up a little bit. And then we kind of reposition the conversation with basically each negative being a positive, while also adding a tinge of humor to make the ad more palatable. Again, use cases, like I said, product focus, problem unaware, problem aware. So product focus, your hooks would be like, for example, these are not really good examples to be honest. But again, how to execute, very simple. Create a B-roll for every listicle pain point, product B-roll or AI or creative voiceovers. And again, if you have a big catalog of B-roll already, you can make these within 24 hours. You just need to give a script and a storyboard to your editor, give them 3 different scroll stoppers to make, and you can get these ads up and running very simply. Like honestly, there's no need to try and overcomplicate it. These are the easiest types of ad formats to learn and execute on, regardless of how good you are at writing copy or anything like that. If you just master running these 3 types of ads in your ad account, I promise you'll be able to scale so effortlessly, provided you're producing enough volume of each angle, of each variation of these types of creatives. Now, I don't really like these videos where people say, test this kind of ad format, because majority of the time it's not based on anything. I know these people who make these kind of videos personally. I see their clients, I see their brands. They're not running the creatives they tell you to run. They pick some random crap from Foreplay and AdSpy, and they tell you to run it because it's content for YouTube. This stuff is actually stuff that we are spending 30K a day on multiple client accounts profitably and acquiring customers at scale with, which is why I'm confident bringing it to you. And to be honest, I shouldn't even be bringing it to you. I should reserve this for my private community, the Ad Creative Masterclass, where I teach a lot more about creatives. I teach a lot more about how to do research, how to structure angles, how to structure creative testing, how to come up with ideas, how to make ads that actually convert. If you're interested in that, hit the first link in the description. It's only $997, one-time fee, no recurring, and you get access to me on weekly AMA calls. You get access to all of the course material, over 6 hours of course material. So yeah, just wanted to make this quick video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, check out the first link in the description if you want to learn how to make better ads, if you want to see behind the curtain of different types of formats additional to these ones that we can help you create and teach you to create from the resources available inside. And yeah, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.